Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to my new lesson or to my new lecture for the subject of accounting. This class is applicable for 9 business studies, 10 business studies, and also for 11 business studies students, and also for English version students. We were going to carry the chapter the name of trial balance. This is the lesson number 3. This class is conducted by Mahmoud Hussain, lecturer, Department of Accounting, English Medium Morning Shift, Rajuk Uttara Model College, Dhaka. Dear students, I have already completed 2 lectures for this chapter, that is trial balance. You know, this is the very important chapter for recording procedure of accounting. Trial balance is very helpful to preparing statement of financial position, statement of comprehensive income, statement of owner's equity, overall financial statement preparation or final account preparation. In last class, I have given a creative question, also given its solution. Today I will also give a new creative question with its solution. Dear learners, I think you are ready to take my new lecture for the chapter of trial balance. You are starting in a very renowned institution, that is the name of Rajuk Uttara Model College, Dhaka, number 1 institution in Bangladesh. So you have to go up in your level. Dear learners, okay, now you can take your accounting practice copy for writing the creative question. This is the creative question number 2. Creative questions of trial balance. Ledger balances of Mr. Hassan as on 31st December 2019 are as follows. Totally 18 ledger balances are available in the Mr. Hassan's business as on 31st December 2019. Account title Taka, capital for Taka 3 lakh, equipment for Taka 1 lakh, bills receivable for Taka 60,000, bills payable for Taka 50,000, bank loan for Taka 10,000, cash in hand 1119, that is the opening cash in hand or beginning time of cash balance 12,000, stock 1119, that is opening stock or beginning time of stock 2019, Taka 80,000, investment Taka 10,000, provision for bad debt Taka 6,000, and right side billing Taka 90,000, accounts receivable Taka 60,000, accounts payable Taka 50,000, salary Taka 10,000, unearned revenue 6,000, bank overdraft Taka 4,000, cash 31st 12 2019, that is closing cash balance is Taka 20,000. Furniture taka 16,000. Inventory 31st 12 2019, that is closing inventory or closing stock is taka 70,000. From the above balances you have to complete the three requirements. That is, from the stem you have to require three item. Requirement A, determine the amount of current assets from the above balances. Requirement B, prepare a trial balance from the ledger balances mentioned above. Requirement C, determine the amount of capital expenditures and capital received. Dear learners, I think you have written in your copy of this creative question. At first, going to solve, I have to discuss these items. In each items, what kind of item and where to be shown. First one is capital. You know, capital is the amount of equity. When equity increases, then capital account is credited. So in all time, capital account is credited in trial balance. Equipment, one kind of fixed asset, that is long-term asset or capital expenditure. You know, all assets are debit or capital expenditure is debit. So equipment account is to be debited in trial balance for taka 1 lakh. Bills receivable taka 60,000. Bills receivable, one kind of current assets or short-term asset. From the rules and procedure of preparing a trial balance, bills receivable is one kind of asset, that is all assets are debit. So bills receivable is debit in trial balance for taka 60,000. Bills payable taka 50,000. Bills payable is one kind of current liabilities or short-term liabilities. You know, from the rules, all liabilities are credit. So bills payable is one kind of liability, is credited in trial balance for taka 50,000. Bank loan, it's one kind of long-term liability. It is also a liability. So liability is credit. Bank loan is credited for taka 10,000 in trial balance. Cash in hand 1119. In general concept or in general sense, opening cash in hand not included in trial balance. So it is not included in trial balance. Stock 1/1/2019, that is the opening amount of stock, that is opening stock taka 80,000. It is indicated as revenue expenditure. You know, all kinds of expenses is debit. So stock, that is opening stock, is debited for taka 80,000 in this trial balance. Investment, that is one kind of asset, that is long-term investment. You know, all assets are debit. So investment is debited in this trial balance for taka 10,000. Provision for bad debt taka 6,000. You know, any kind of provision, reserve or allowance is to be credited in trial balance. So in this trial balance, provision for bad debt is credited for taka 6,000 in this trial balance. That is Mr. Hassan's trial balance as on 31st December 2019. Next one, billing, is one kind of fixed asset, that is capital expenditure. All assets are debit, so billing is debited in trial balance. Account receivable, any kind of receivable is indicated as current asset, that is asset. So account receivable is debited in this trial balance for taka 60,000. Accounts payable, you know, all payable amount are liability. So accounts payable is credited in this trial balance for taka 50,000. Salary, one kind of expenditure, that is expenses or revenue expenditures. You know, all expenses are debit. So salary is debited in this trial balance for taka 10,000. Unearned revenue, that is advanced revenue or advance income. So it's indicated as current liability or short-term liability. You know, all liabilities are credit. So in this trial balance, you have to show unearned revenue for taka 6,000. It's credited in this trial balance. Bank overdraft, that is bank balance credit. So it's one kind of current liability or short-term liability, that is indicated as credit in this trial balance for taka 4,000. Cash 31st 12/2019. Cash, that is closing cash, closing amount of cash or closing cash in hand or closing cash fund. Cash one kind of current assets, that is the best current assets in business. So cash is debited for taka 20,000 in trial balance. Furniture one kind of fixed asset, that is long term asset. Assets is debit, so furniture is debited in this trial balance for taka 16,000. See the last balance of inventory 31/12/2019, that is closing inventory or closing stock. From the rules and procedure of preparing a trial balance, closing stock is not included in trial balance. So inventory 31/12/2019 for taka 70,000 not included in the trial balance of Mr. Hassan. Dear students, I have already discussed in each item from your betterment. Now you have to go for writing the solution of requirement A, B and C. At first you have to draw a format for requirement A, requirement B and requirement C. You can see in the next slide and next content for requirement A, the amount of current assets is determined below. Serial number, accounts titles, amount aka detail, amount aka total. In this trial balance, current assets, totally 4 current assets are available. That is the first one, bills receivable for taka 60,000. You have to write in first column in all items of current assets at first. Accounts receivable for taka 60,000 is written in detail column. Cash 31/12/2019, that is closing cash taka 20,000. Have to write in detail column. Inventory 31/12/2019, that is closing inventory taka 70,000 is to be written in detail column. At this moment, total amount of current assets in this system 2,10,000. 2,10,000. This is hints for your note or workings. Current assets, that is short-term asset, maybe cash, bank, accounts receivable, closing inventory, notes receivable, bills receivable, advance expenses, accrued incomes, short-term loan, etc. Dear learners, I think you have written in your copy. For more practicing at your home. I repeat again, current assets, that is closing cash balance, closing bank balance, accounts receivable, closing inventory, notes receivable, bills receivable, advance expenses, accrued incomes, short-term loan, etc. Now we can go for solving the requirement B, trial balance. At first you have to draw a format for preparing a trial balance. You know from the procedure or format of trial balance, totally 5 columns to be used for preparing a trial balance. Number 1, serial number. Second one, account titles. Third one, ledger folio or reference column. Fourth one, debit taka. Fifth one, credit taka. From this stem we can write the balance is in trial balance. First item, capital. Capital is credited for taka 3 lakh in trial balance. I have already discussed all of items for trial balance. Equipment, fixed asset, that is asset in all time is debited, so 1 lakh is debited in this trial balance for equipment. Bills receivable one kind of asset for taka 60,000 debited in this trial balance. Bills payable taka 50,000. Payable is credited in all time, that is the amount of liability, so bills payable is credited for taka 50,000 in this trial balance. Bank loan is long-term liability for taka 10,000 is credited. Bank loan is one kind of current long-term liability, so it is indicated as credit balance. Stock 1/1/2019, that is opening stock is one kind of revenue expenditure that is debited in trial balance for taka 80,000. Investment, one kind of asset. Investment for taka 10,000 is debited in the trial balance. provision for bad debt. The contra expenses, this is the amount of 6,000 is credited. Provision reserve allowance is credited in trial balance. For taka 6,000 in credited. Building, one kind of fixed asset. There is a long-term asset for taka 90,000 debited in trial balance. Accounts receivable is one kind of current assets or assets. So account receivable is debited for taka 60,000 in the trial balance of Mr. Hassan. Accounts payable is credited for taka 50,000 because accounts payable is a current liability. Overall it's a liability, so it is credited in this trial balance. Salary, one kind of expenses, that is revenue expenditure. In all time, all revenue expenditure and expenses is debited in trial balance. In this trial balance, taka 10,000 for debited salary amount. Unearned revenue, that is advanced revenue. Advanced or unearned revenue is indicated as current liability. So liability is credit in the trial balance. Unearned revenue is credited for taka 6,000. Bank overdraft, it is indicated as current liability. It is credited for taka 4,000 in trial balance. Cash 31st 12, that is closing cash in hand, one kind of current assets. This is debited taka 20,000. That is closing cash balance is debited in this trial balance of taka 20,000. Furniture, one kind of fixed asset that is debited for taka 16,000 in the trial balance. At this moment, total of debit is taka 4,46,000, but total of credit is taka 4,26,000. That is the missing amount of credited taka 20,000. So, what can you do at this moment? You have to remember it in all time when all balances are posted in correct way, but no agreement of trial balance in two sides of debit and credit. At that moment, you have to open a new account for missing amount. That is the account of suspense account. You can write a new account, serial number 17, suspense account, difference in debit and credit. Taka 20,000 is credited for equalizing debit and credit. Testing the arithmetical accuracy of accounts means trial balance. So you have to equal both sides, that is debit and credit side. Dear learners, I think you have written the trial balance in your accounting practice copy. Now we can go for solution of requirement C. Before going requirement C, that is the note suspense account. What is suspense account? If the total of credit side of trial balance becomes less than that of debit side, the suspense account will be shown on the credit side and vice versa. In this question, total debit amount taka 4,46,000, but total credit amount taka 4,26,000. So in this math or in this credit question, suspense account created for the amount of taka 20,000 in credit column. Another one, remember or hints, disagreement of both the sides of trial balance is made equal through suspense account for time being. It is not a permanent solution, rather a kind of temporary arrangement. I repeat again, disagreement of both the sides of trial balance is made equal through suspense account for time being. It is not a permanent solution, rather a kind of temporary arrangement. Now, have to complete the requirement C. Two items are available in requirement C. First one, capital expenditure. Second one, capital receipt. So you have to draw two formats. First one, capital expenditure, and second one, capital receipt. Same formats. First column serial number, second column accounts title, third column amount taka detail, fourth column amount taka total. So capital expenditure, totally 4 items are available for capital expenditure in this creative question. Number 1, equipment for taka 1 lakh, investment টাকা 10,000, building টাকা 90,000, furniture টাকা 16,000. Total amount of capital expenditure in this math 2,16,000. Capital receipt. In this creative question or in this system, totally 2 items of capital receipt are available in this trial balance. Capital, first one for taka 3 lakh and bank loan taka 10,000. Total of capital receipt is taka 3,10,000. Notebook only for remembering. Capital expenditures. What is capital expenditures? Related to all fixed asset and long-term investment. I repeat again, capital expenditures means all fixed asset and long-term investment. What is capital receipt? Capital, additional capital, loan, etc. Capital receipt, what is capital, additional capital, loan, etc. Dear students, I think you have understood. The creative question. If you do for solving several times, then you will be very benefited from this chapter. This is the very important chapter, but this is the very easiest chapter also. Dear students, that's for being today. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.